right, hey everyone, and welcome to Be a Warrior podcast. I am Angie, and I am here. This is going to be a kind of a quicker podcast today, which most of you might be very excited about, as I try to make these a little bit shorter and more in bite-sized chunks. But I thought today I wanted to just kind of get into normalizing the phantom pain thing that's going on. I talk to a lot of people. I see a lot that are posted on social media groups for amputees, and phantom pain is always that underlying murmur and sometimes yelling. You can almost feel the yelling that people have in their hearts when they post about how horrible the phantom pain is and that it's really impossible to get through a day. And I thought today seems like the most obvious thing to talk about, because I've had a couple days of not so great feeling, burning sensation. Now, I have had phantom pain, like full on phantom pain episodes. I've had about 4 or 5 in the past 5.5 years where they are god awful. I can't sleep, I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't take my leg off, doesn't help, putting it on doesn't help, moving in it doesn't help, nothing helps. This is not one of those times, but it is pretty darn close. And I will tell you that that's probably one of the reasons why I'm going to keep this short too, because I don't normally record this late in the day, and I am a wife and a mom, and I've got to make dinner. So the reality is, this is why I look the way I am, because I'm racing through this today. But I also wanted to get on because I think it's an important topic, and one that I will delve into deeper as we get into the need. But I wanted to normalize the fact that even when people come across, when you talk to them or reach out to them on social media, or you just are kind of social media stalking amputees that you are admiring or observing or wishing you had that life, there isn't one of us that goes without some sort of phantom sensation or phantom pain. It just isn't real. I haven't met anybody yet, and I really highly doubt, even those that I know that have had a pretty easy time of it for years and years, eventually they have that wallop of a moment, an episode, you might say. And while I am definitely going through something right now, it's more of a burn. And I will tell you, I'm pretty sure I know what started it. I have been golfing lately, but not like out golfing because it's 100 and god awful here. But we've been going to an inside golf range, but it's one where you actually can play holes on certain courses around the world, and you hit into a screen, so you're really full on swinging to get the same kind of feel and experience as actually golfing, except in the air conditioning. And I have done that. I did it Friday, I did it Sunday. And Sunday night, I couldn't handle the burn. It literally feels like someone has got a blowtorch on my foot, toasting me like a marshmallow. It doesn't want to go away. And I wanted to bring this up and normalize a little bit, because even when it looks like things are going well for somebody, you don't know how many people, like I am not trying to fake it till I make it. I'm just keeping the positive spin on my life. Like, I could sit around and get into a pity party and woe is me, but I know for a fact that that really doesn't help me at all. I know that talking about it and wallowing in it and having it in my head all the time actually makes it worse for me. And so Sunday, I didn't mention much to my husband or my family, and laying in bed, I just remember feeling just the sensation, and you finally just get tired enough, you fall asleep. Then Monday came, and I was ready to start my week. My week tends to be first thing in the morning is horses and gym. And I literally got my kid dropping off his truck for a fix, came home, and I sat around and did nothing. And I will tell you, without a doubt, it was the worst thing I ever did. But I also wanted to tell you that sometimes it's really hard to motivate out of that hole you get yourself into. Part of me was like, well, this is a great excuse to just chill and actually enjoy a day at home, doing the things I'd like to do and prepping for some stuff that's coming up. And, I'm already getting excited about the holidays coming because I know my kids are going back to school, or one of them's going back to school, this next month. And so I'm already getting into the fall vibe, which I know is early, but I'm excited. And so I just decided I would sit and enjoy downtime, be there for my puppies and just have them have somebody at home. And it actually got worse and worse throughout the day because I was sitting on a couch, pressing my socket up against the point that I realized that night after I took my leg off, because I don't just sit with my leg off. Like, it stays on. That's one thing I won't do. I will not concede to that. But I sat there and it just, I don't know how to explain it, except it's very hard to stay focused on anything for any long amount of time. So even though I may have put a show on or a movie on or I had a book, I couldn't stay focused more than a few minutes at a time before it would just drive me absolutely batty. And I'd get up and I'd move around a little bit and then I'd be like, okay, I'm tired, because I've been pushing myself so hard lately that I just went and sat back down. And all it did was keep repeating itself. And I have told you guys over and over again, when I'm in my worst places, I tend to try to get out. I will go for a walk, I'll hike, I'll go to the gym, anything to avoid thinking about it. But I didn't do that on Monday, and I paid the price. It was a very, very long day for me. I was struggling with then headaches because it was stressing me out so much, and I couldn't sit still, and I was beside myself, and it was one of those things where I couldn't wait to just take my leg off and go to bed and hopefully get some sleep and get the rest my body needed so I could tackle it today. Today comes, and I'm like, oh my God, it's still there. And I just sat there, I'm like, I cannot just sit here anymore. So I got myself dressed to go to the gym, and I went to the gym. And it took everything in my body to get out of my car at the parking lot and get into the gym to face the music, so to speak. And I did it, but keeping in mind that if I know I'm hitting a nerve on the back of my femur, down in the bottom of my socket, and now I'm picking up 20, 25, 30-pound weights and walking with them over to sit down or work out, I'm putting all that pressure down inside there even more. So then I would do my workout, and I was doing certain things. I only worked out for an hour. It was not my heaviest, hardest workout, but I got there. I did it. I conquered that hurdle big time, because there was a lot of me that didn't want anything to do with the gym today. And then when I got home, then I went grocery shopping. So then I had that, and I was really, really struggling. I just keep going is what I kept telling myself. So when all this is going on, I know I'm a better person for getting to the gym. I feel a little bit better about myself. I did something. Am I still feeling the pain? You bet you I am. Like right now, while I'm talking to you, my foot is on fire. And that was another reason I literally wasn't going to do a podcast today. I just didn't want to, because I knew that I couldn't sit long enough the way I do to talk to you. And I just thought, if I sit and talk about it, then I'm going to feel it, then I'm going to not want to be there, and I'm just going to be in a really bad place. But I thought, you know what? Once again, I know I'll feel better if I do it. So I wanted to share with you this episode because it does happen to the best of us. I still got to the gym. The people at the gym had no idea that I was going through that. But I'll tell you, it took every ounce of energy and my stick-to-itiveness to be someplace working out, to go to the store to get food for my family. And then I went out with my son to pick up his truck this afternoon, and still came home and got some cookies made and some other treats made, because my one son is heading out on a road trip soon. And I promised I would do some of that stuff. But I'll tell you what, standing up and walking around and doing that stuff was like the last thing I wanted to do. So even though I can smile, even though I can talk about it, does not mean that it has gone away. I'm pretty sure that it had to do with golf because it's my front leg. My left leg is my front leg, and I'm swinging through, putting all my pressure into that leg and turning. And I did not have a good Sunday golf. Friday was great. Sunday sucked and was very frustrating for me. So it's just kind of insult to injury to have a really crappy game and to know that I just didn't feel comfortable in my leg and I didn't feel comfortable with my swing. And then, of course, then insult to injury again. That night started feeling the pain, and then Monday was awful, and today is no better. And when I took my leg off on Monday, I did realize, because if you're really focused on trying to figure out what's going on with your body, you start messing around with the feel, and you want to just see where things are. When you're talking phantom pain, and it's in your foot, you don't have a foot there. You have to figure out where that nerve is. Lay down, baby, lay down. My puppy is being a puppy. Sorry about that, you guys. So I started messing around and just light strokes over my residual limb to see if I could figure out where I could replicate that zing. And sure enough, it didn't take but a really soft touch like this on the back of my leg where my femur is very exposed. I have very little flesh there. It's just some layers of skin and I can feel my bone. And when I go over that one spot, it recreates it. So I know that I was pushing back into my socket, banging that up. And when you have phantom pain, if you're not sure why it happens or where it comes from and you're dealing with it, a lot of times all you have to do is walking in your socket if it's not on correctly, or you've got your skin in differently, or something's hitting wrong, or you've fallen. A lot of times all you have to do is piss off some nerves once, and it's like a bruise. It won't go away until it kind of works its way out. And for me, I tend to just keep wearing my legs, so I have to push through that more so than just letting it heal. I'm not the kind of person that if I bruise, I will stay off of that bruise. I will actually push into the bruise. And so that's, I think, where mine is coming from. And maybe that'll help you. If you are dealing with phantom pains, think about what you may have done or the way your socket is. And when you take your socket off, just kind of gently stroke your skin around your residual limb, stroke the back of it, especially the end of it. Just see if you can even just gentle nudging of it and pushing the skin to see if you can find a replication of that pain, because that is information you can take to your prosthetist. Because for some of you, like I've had this socket now for like over a year. So I know it's not a new socket issue. But for a lot of you, you're brand new to this and you're in the first couple of years where you're changing sockets every couple months because your volume is changing and your residual limb is healing. You might want to tell your prosthetist, hey, I noticed that I am having a lot of phantom pain. When I take my leg off, this is where I can replicate it. There might be something in your socket that is actually creating that problem. If it is an older socket like mine, then you start thinking, what have I been doing that could have exacerbated that nerve and pissed it off? And for me, I know exactly when it happened. I did golf on Friday, felt a little bit on Saturday, felt a little bit on Sunday, but Sunday, I told you, it was a bad golf, and that night was horrible. And all day Monday, horrible pain. So I'm hoping this kind of helps you. Like I said, I wanted to make this just a quick jump on to normalize the phantom pain, to normalize the fact that some amputees never look like they have problems. We all do. That is not the case, but a lot of people, the people that are doing well and successful, do not talk about it. They don't want to bring light to it because the more you give it life, the more you deal with it. And a lot of times, not letting it have that power over you by talking about it is how people get through it. So those that are successful at what they're doing and you think that they've got no problems whatsoever, that is not the case. They choose to overlook it. They choose not to speak about it. They choose not to live in it. They choose to live past it and get through it. So just so you know, we all go through it. If you're going through it, just make some observations. Again, that's the thing for your tools in your toolbox that I talk about. You need to know what causes your phantom pains, because for every one of us, it's different. We've all been cut differently. We've all had different surgeons. We all have different types of sockets, and we all have different gaits. So anything you're doing and your activity level, right? All of that can culminate to what can cause phantom pain. So I don't really have a call to action today for this week, except, hey, if you're dealing with it, start making some observations so that you can take that back to your prosthetist, your PT, to see if the things you're doing with them or the way your socket is fitting is causing you the problems, because no one wants to live with phantom pain. It is very real. It is very painful. It is mind-numbing, and it can actually drive you absolutely batty to go through it. It is something that is impossible. No one can see it happening to you, but it is extreme in some cases. So don't feel bad if you're going through it, but start making some adjustments and start making some observations about your life, your situation, your activity levels, your prosthetic, how it fits, how it feels, what you're doing at PT, what you're doing in the gym, what you're doing out at work. All those things can all come together. And I truly believe stress can also make it worse. So if you're really struggling with some other aspect of your life, work, relationship, family, you name it, those things can also create a stress that will also take you down. And really, with phantom pain, there really isn't medicine that helps you through it. I mean, some people will take nerve pain medicine and stuff, but it really, I know it didn't work for me. So if you're taking stuff and you're like, it doesn't help, this is horrible, I don't take anything. I think the other night I finally took some aspirin, some ibuprofen, just so I could relax the muscles and try to sleep. But that was it. I take that maybe once every 5 or 6 months. I don't, unless I have a headache. So sometimes it's just better to just press on through, push through, make observations, and start figuring out how you're going to get around it. Because I know that while I'm dealing with this, it will eventually end. But I also know I'm going to have it again. It's just what it is. And I would rather figure out how to handle it and deal with it and push through it than always rely on drugs or just losing control of my life and having it spin out of control. So I have to learn how to deal with it, learn how to cope, and learn how to press through so that I can make it through, because you will, to the other side. So start making some observations, and I hope this helped. I hope that you have a blessed week. I hope it's amazing. And you guys know I'm always here for you. So please reach out if you ever want to talk, if you ever have an issue, please jump on. And also jump on, ladies, if you're an amputee or you support someone that's an amputee and you need a community of people that understand more of what's going on with you or your person you're helping, jump on. I have a chat every other week on Wednesday evening. So tonight, actually, when you hear this podcast, Wednesday nights, the first, third, and if there's a fifth Wednesday of the month, we get on a Zoom call and we just have just some social time to help each other get through some hard times, to talk about what's going right, and just to lift each other up and laugh and make friends. So I hope you can jump on if you are a woman and you're an amputee or you support someone that's amputee. We have some great discussion, and it's a good time had by all, and it's a small, quaint group, not a large group. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. And as always, be healthy, be happy, be you.